House the Kamurai built official response.
So Hank, you were talking about extraterrestrial life and the Fermi paradox and the fact that we should have seen something theoretically by now over our 100 years or so of sending messages and whatnot. But I agree with you. I think that is not a long amount of time. It may very well be that they may not exist or we may not exist by the time one of the receiver or sender gets the message. And certainly I don't think the exact receiver or sender will be alive by the time that meets up, because like you said, light years are such an incredible distance that we just may not see it. I did want to mention something about the probabilities of that evolutionary race of creating advancement. And yes, I agree with you again that advanced civilizations tend to break themselves down and they tend to be their own worst enemy. They may very well destroy themselves. But also, if we look at the link here, it's tracking asteroids. I don't know how you can identify one asteroid from the other. They've apparently been doing this for years now and projected that somewhere pretty close to 2012, we're going to just have a belt load of asteroids on top of us, if not past us, going towards the sun. I think even if we didn't have that happening, it's inevitable. The planet's going to go. One of two things is going to happen. Similar to our moon, it's either going to spin off and then leave orbit, or it's going to eventually revolve into the sun at some point. The third thing that could happen, honestly, is that the sun could eventually explode, lose our orbit, and or are decimated in blast. The whole point there is that eventually what has to happen for the species to continue, and this may be happening elsewhere, is that eventually the species has to leave the planet. Alternatively, we could find a way to actually navigate our entire planet, but that doesn't seem likely. What I'm talking about is essentially homo-interstellar. I think in the most rudimentary phase, you end up making a fleet of spaceships and actually becoming nomadic people via spaceship. These spaceships would obviously have to have natural oxidizers and food producers, essentially putting farms in space. The sheer amount of factors that go into something small like agriculture is just overwhelming, let alone thinking about doing it as a fleet. As a planet-sized fleet is incredible. But honestly, that have to be the way to go about it, to make it to the end of the universe, if you will. It's possible to outlast the planet, we just have to leave the planet. And honestly, if those foreign life forms are so far away, eventually we're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere, or go find them. Let's face it, you're going to really sit there and wait on someone to come find you? You can get off your butt and go find them. It's funny that the idea of extraterrestrial life relates best to a relationship issue. Anyways, I'm Kamurai. Have a nice day.